Hello everyone, welcome to part 20 of this series. Today we're setting up our own melee attacks. With all of the animation sales that are going on this week, it seems like a great time to cover this. Before we start, I would like to thank all of my Patreon supporters for the amazing support. This scene will be made available on Patreon. So here we are in our scene, and I didn't actually do this in advance, so this will be the first time doing it for this project, and the reason for that is simply because this is not a difficult process, it's just a time-consuming process once you know what to do. And the reason for that is because there's simply a lot of animations. So we're going to get started straight away. And for this, I'm going to use one of the animation packs I already had, which was the Medieval Animations pack. And I really want to specify here that it doesn't matter which animation pack you have. I want to be absolutely clear about that. The process will be exactly the same. And I might actually change this myself, even for the series, go to some new animations because there's just so many on sale right now. But I haven't decided which one I want to go for yet. And considering I already own these, I thought it would just, make more sense to do it with this, because again, the process will always be exactly the same. There won't be any difference here. So I'm going to start with this pack, and in future videos you might suddenly see different animations, and that would simply be because I decided to go with another pack that actually seems more fitting for this project. So let's get started. Cool. So we're going to go to our main sword, and I called it main sword, so if you call it something else, just whatever it is you named it. And for now I'm going to keep that original in there. So I'm just going to add a second weapon. So let's duplicate this and let's rename it to main sword plus shield. So for this one, I'm going to do a combo of, well, not a combo, I'm going to do a melee animation set that actually, uses a shield. And uses is a big word because, there's always a shield equipped, but by default this shield just doesn't have a model and animations don't reflect that shield. So that's what we're going to change here. We are going to be using that shield. So let's get started with the actual animations first. So as you can see here on the right side, we have melee clips. Now the reason these aren't just simple, drag and drop animations is because they actually have root motion movement in them. Now Game Creator doesn't support root motion by default, but the melee module actually does use root motion for its combos. So that's why these are not simply, simple clip animation clips, and they are, actual Game Creator clips. So we're going to get started with the basics here. We're going to get started with the combo. There we go. And they're called My Attack 1, 2, 3. So we're going to, well, let's duplicate the first and it will just be called My Attack 4. And I'm going to call this combo 0, 1. And I'm going to add a prefix here just to, make it easier to find them. So I'm just going to add a 0 here. And the reason for that is that all my new clips will just be up top, just makes it slightly easier. Yes, I know you could create a new folder and just, create a new clip, but this is already going to be time consuming as it is. So here we have our clip, and as you can see in this clip, there's a couple of things. So we have our animation clip, we have an avatar mask, and we have transition times and motion. So this is the actual movement. And one of the important things here is that even if your clip doesn't actually support, it doesn't have any movement, you can actually still add it. And I'll show that in a bit as well. We have sound effects for each clip, which is really cool. And then we have a couple of, well, let's just say things we can decide. So, is it an attack? Is it blockable? Is there defense damage, poise damage, which is the melee system? Is it interruptible? Are you vulnerable during this? and posture is steady. Now the reason we have these options is that some of them, in a lot of games you have unblockable attacks and you just have to dodge them. And often it's not really fun if the player can do this, but it is kind of fun if the enemy can do this. So this is the reason why you'd have a different weapon, even if the model is the same, for the enemy, so you can actually have some cool effects. And a really simple thing, if I can't remember which game it is, but I think it's in plenty of games where an unblockable attack, the enemy actually turns red or has this red type of shader. And all you need to do is just add an action on execute to change the shader, for example, of the enemy. And that's a really cool way to actually have those, unblockable attacks be visible in the game as well. And I think that's really cool. You can add all of those things. So yeah, pretty awesome. So we're going to get started with our combo 1. And first we need some melee clips. Now, because I didn't do this in advance, I will have to, guess a bit which would work. So, like I said, I'm using this one, but it really doesn't matter. You can use whatever animation pack you want. Like I said, I haven't really decided on mine either. So, for now, I'm just going to use this. And as you can see, there's a lot in here. We have idols, walk, trust, which is good because we need a lot of animations here. Parry, quite important as well. Recover, hit, knocked back. Oh, that's actually going to be a good one. That's for the poise. That's going to be great. We need a knocked back animation. And the great thing with, just like with everything, there is definitely some blending of animations as well. So they don't need to perfectly match each other. They will blend into each other. And we have another one. Interesting. Cool. So let's get started with the actual hits here. So we have, what do we have? We have, well, this is a combo. And a combo like this, it's one big animation, and this might be a great finisher or special, but obviously not a default swing. We have jump swings. Okay, that's a bit weird, but yeah, fine. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. You just need to decide where you're going to use. So here we have a couple of simple sword swings, and we're going to be using that. So we have high, left, we have mid, high, straight down. Okay, that's different. Low, oh, that's really low. Okay. Right. Yeah, we can mix it up, it's fine. So I'm going to get started with one of these. So we're going to get started with this one. And then from right, we're going to go with that. And for the third combo, we're going to use these. And again, like I said, these will blend into each other. So this will be our combo. High left, low right, high straight down. Yeah, let's use that. Cool, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select these and I'm going to press Ctrl D, duplicate basically. And the reason for that is now they'll be extracted from this, from this character. So you don't see the preview, which could be considered a downside. But the reason I'm doing this is because we have all of these options. And as you can see, we don't have the sword preview, but we still see the animation here in play. And we can adjust some of these settings. And we do need to adjust these settings because, for one, these are set to loop. And, this is not going to be a loopable animation, quite important. We will need to bake these settings. And we're going to use an offset of 0.1. And I haven't tested these, but I'm just going to assume that, like everything else, we'll need to use that offset to make sure the player doesn't float. So let's just do that straight away. And make sure you do not turn this one on because, again, like I said, it won't be supported by default. Now, I hope I'm not wrong about that. So let's just actually double check this before we make a mistake and look up the initial ones. Because as you know, there is definitely movement in the initial combos. Here we go. But yeah, a small offset here as well, which is, you know, interesting to know, but there's nothing baked here. And this might be a better offset. I'm just going to go with 0.1 for now, and we can always adjust these. So we're good there. So let's find our combo. Here we go. And we're going to drag in our first clip. I'm going to lock this because I can't remember the name and I don't want to lose them again. So here we go. So we start off with high left. And again, you know, if you're using a different pack, it really doesn't matter. Just, you know, select whatever matches yours. Just find 3 hits that could form a combo and that's it. So high left, that's the one we're starting with. And now the important part here is extract root motion. And as you can see, we suddenly have a lot of different graphs. So, you know, there is definitely movement going on here. Now I've actually had it with one clip in a different project where there was nothing to extract and it was a thrust forward, but for some reason it wouldn't extract. And I didn't really need him to move sideways, vertical, but I didn't need him to move forward. So in that case, what you can do is you can create your own motion. So as you can see here, and you know, you can adjust this, you have to play around, but this is now his forward movement. And he'll actually move forward even if you can't extract that from the clip, or even if the clip doesn't really have any movement. Quite good to know. So we're just going to go back to the original. I'm not going to be messing around with sound effects right now. It's, you know, I haven't actually selected any of that, and that's something you can do later. I'm going to keep everything else the same because, you know, honestly, you know, I'm happy with the way the default combos work. I'm fine with them. So, but yeah, you can change this. So if you think this should do more poise damage, if you think this should not be interruptible, which is a bad idea for a default combo, by the way. You know, if you're invincible during this, and I don't think that's, you know, that's great. I mean, unless it's an execution, for example, I would not consider doing this. I would consider doing it for the unblockable attacks for enemies, maybe. You know, for boss fights, stuff like that. But it's really, really cool that it's in here. I really do like that. So here we go. We have our first one and that's all set up. If the transitions are right or wrong, I just simply won't know until we try it out. So that's fine. So let's now that we've set up the first one, I'm just going to be, you know, duplicating all of the ones I need really. So 0 combo, there we go. So let's do attack. Let's duplicate both of these. Rename them. So 0 combo 2. Should have actually just named these my attack with a 0 in front of it, but that's fine. 0 combo 3. There we go. So we have these ones in here. Now, as you can see, there's a lot in here. You know, we have a stinger, so that's if you press forward and attack. And we're going to do that one straight away as well. So that's a special attack. And I'm going to call this one, well, I'm actually just going to add a 0 in front of it. You know what? Otherwise I might get mixed up. So we're just going to add a 0 in front of it. Is there something else we could do right now? Hammerfall, you know, that's when you jump. I'm pretty sure there is some animation like that in there, so why not just do it? So let's do a 0 in front of it. And the backslash, which is the opposite, so that's if you do backwards. Oh, we have to duplicate it first. And there we go. So we have to do the rest as well, but let's just get started with these and then we can actually try them all out as well. So I don't know why I added a 0. There we go. So we have our first one. Let's do our second one. Let's remove that lock. What are they called? 1H, okay. And that actually includes all of the originals. That's a shame. Guess I'll just have to do it like this. Weapon and shield. And we were doing low right as the second one. Again, extract root motion. I'm not going to mess around with these. Cool. So again, 0. Third one. And that's straight down. Perfect. Let's do this as well. And I don't want to change anything, you know, it should still be interruptible, you should still be vulnerable, none of that should change. Now let's look for that trust or something that looks like a trust, or and there we go, trust mid. Let's unlock this. And what does this look like? I mean, it's a trust, but we're not really moving that much. Well, the high doesn't make any sense in this case, so we'll just use a middle trust. What is this? An unsheathing. That's pretty cool, actually. White / combo. Oh, that's a nice special. We could use this after a perfect parry, for example, something like that. A shield blow. This could actually be a great parry. I think Assassin's Creed actually has a parry like this where you actually use the shield to parry. Pretty much the same. So I'm going to use that for my parry. Let me already duplicate that out, actually. So I'm going to be using that as a parry. So again, loop time has to be off. Yes, root 0.1. There we go. So we have a good parry there. And I'm just going to use this. I know it's not perfect, but can't be wasting too much time just trying to find a perfect animation. It's not really the point here. Because there's a big chance you'll be using different ones anyway, so it doesn't really matter all that much. So here we have Heavy Smash. What does this look like? It's pretty cool. I don't know why, I'll keep it. Jump swing. Yeah. I do like the knocked back. That is actually nice. And the reason I do knocked forward. Okay. The reason I do like that is because I do think the default, you know, you get knocked back too far, which basically, especially if it's after like a perfect parry or something like that, they get knocked back so far that you don't actually have time to hit them again. So kind of defeats the purpose of a perfect parry or something like that. So we're going to keep that we're going to use that one as well. And duck below high swing, what is that? Okay, that's weird. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be. Dying animations, and I know by default we're doing ragdoll, and this is the reason why by default we're using ragdoll. It's because dying animations really would depend on the situation, and I mean these look pretty similar, but you know, this could be great, for example, for actually looks like a good knockback one as well. Interesting. So dying animations really have to depend on the situation. That's why it can look unnatural if you only have one type of dying animation. So I know a lot of packs have dying animations and ragdolling isn't perfect, but still ragdolling will be better in most use cases. And dying animations are still great for things like cutscenes, for example, where you can definitely still use them. So I wouldn't recommend doing that by default. I mean, you could. I wouldn't, because it's just, it's going to look a bit weird. A nice down animation, as you can, have in many battle royale games or multiplayer shooters, for example. So we have our heavy smash. We have hit animations, which is good as well. We do need hit animations. So let's duplicate those as well. And we have blocking animations. So that's a high. So this is perfect. That's a perfect blocking animation. I mean, he's crouching a bit much, but that's fine. We do need a blocking animation, so we're good there. And that needs to be a loopable, so that is actually going to be a loopable. Oh, not really sure. Okay. There's so many knockback animations, dear God. Well, I might have used the wrong one, doesn't really matter. Recovered from... That looks cool, but most likely with blending animations like these will just become useless. These are running animations. We have parry animations, and a lot of these are high shield blows. That could be cool. No, we're not going to do that. Cool, so in the end I'm just going to use the thrust. I'm going to use the heavy smash as well. I'm pretty sure I had that. So let's get started and finish this set here. So 0.1. Hit again. This is not loopable. We do need to pay attention because there will be some loopables here. And the nice thing is obviously if for some reason you are missing an animation, or you don't have something, you can still use some of the defaults. They won't always fit together perfectly, so that is something to keep in mind. So shield blocking, that is going to be loopable, so we're going to be blocking like that, but we do need to change that value. Cool, and we have our thrust. Now this is a bit boring, but it's fine. It's a thrust, it's what it's supposed to be. So let's finish our set. So we have Stinger. Let's lock this. And thrust mid. There we go. Extract root motion. And as you can see here, the Stinger all has the same values as well, so we're going to keep it like that. Now the default Stinger actually moves really far, and I'm not sure if you can try that out right now, but the default Stinger actually moves the player forwards quite a bit. And in terms of realism, that's not realistic, but if that's the style you're going for, gameplay wise, it is often a lot more fun if there's a lot of movement. So we might have to adjust this a bit. This is how the animation is, and we might actually play around with that a bit. So we have our sting, so 0. Hammerfell, I'm not really sure what the default animation even looks like. I'm not even going to try it. I'm just going to be using that other animation for this. So let's lock this. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a great match, but that's okay. We have, what is it? Pretty sure I had some jump one, didn't I? Or did I just simply not use that? Jump swing, there we go. Apparently I didn't use it, that's okay. So jump swing, I'm going to drag that in and can't extract anything. That is interesting, and most likely because all of this is on. So 0.1, there we go. So let's go back. And as you can see right now, suddenly we do have these options. So that's why those values need to be turned on. So extract with motion. Cool. More damage, and we have our backslash. Now it's called backslash, but you know, I don't really have a matching animation actually for this. So it will just be a different, you know, a different combo, and that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. Maybe that 360 swing was actually a good one. I actually did forget about that. Let me try that out. There was some weird 360 swing or something like that. There we go. Oh, that was a jump swing. It's a bit much maybe. Yeah, that just looks weird. I mean, that's yeah. These all seem like finishers. They're a bit too much. This is okay. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but I'm just simply going to use this. There we go. And let's turn all of this on and have that offset. Cool. So let's go back to our clip. And this is one of those reasons you should actually just have them in a different folder. This makes this whole process a bit easier. So backslash, and we're going to be using that jump swing, or that swing. And that's another thing to keep in mind, you know, they don't have to be the same. I think that's, you know, quite an important thing to call out. They don't have to be similar in terms of animations. It's just the input that really matters. So cool. So we have our basics and melee. Now what is it called? Main sword. And there's a couple of other ones we need to do, and that's simply because blocking, for example, you know, blocking won't work properly because we do need to use the shield. And as you can see, blocking is not in here. Quite important to call out. Then we do have counterattack. We have special hammer fell. We already had all of those. Now we're going to drag them in. So it's my attack, so we're going to do 0 combo 1, 0 combo 2, and 0 combo 3. Then special hammer fall, we have our new one as well. Backlash, we have our new one as well. And where is our stinger? Cool. Now we do have a counterattack, and the important thing here with counterattack, which is, as you can see after a perfect block, is it needs to match, you know, the hit animation basically. So if you're going to use a knockback and you have a counterattack that is in place, you won't hit the enemy. So that's, you know, that's quite an important thing to call out as well. So they do need to match each other. As you can see, we have a couple of conditions here, and not all of them are actually used. So we have on air, after block, running forwards, running backwards, input forwards, input backwards. As you can see, we have on air, we have perfect block, input backwards, forwards, and none. So you can add running ones, and if you've noticed in this melee pack I'm using, there's actually running attacks as well. So that's definitely worth worth adding. So we can actually add one. So we can add a combo here. So let's do running forwards. I don't want running backwards because I'm pretty sure we're not even using that. So we have running forwards. And that's just going to be one input. Right now we have combo 0, 3, something like that, and is enabled. So let's go here, and I'm going to duplicate this one. And we're going to do run forward. I don't know, run forward. There we go. So let's add a new one, and I'm going to lock this, and I'm just going to guess this one by name. I'm not even going to preview it, so run, pretty sure there was one. And now I'm afraid I have to actually check them out anyway. That's annoying. Oh well. So what was it? Walk trust. Yeah, okay. We'll use this one. Walk trust seems to be fitting. So let's do that. So turn all of this off, and there we go. And yeah, make sure that's off as well. Cool. So that's the one we'll be using. So again, 0 combo. I'm already regretting not creating a different folder for this anyway. Let's lock this, and there we go. So walk trust, there we go. So it kind of does match, you know, what we're doing in terms of the default trust, which is input forward, and now if we're walking, we're doing a trust as well with a slightly different animation. So pretty cool. So let's go back to our main sword here, and main sword and shield. And yeah, we have our hit reactions, knockback, that's the important one. That's one of the ones we need to fix. Let's already do, there we go, run forward. And we have knockback. Now this is an important one in my opinion. This is definitely one we do need to change. The default one is just, in my opinion, it's just too much. So let's duplicate. Oh, yeah, accidentally selected several, and we're going to rename this to 0 knockback. It doesn't need to be a number. There we go. I think we already had that one as well, so let's lock that and drag it in. And this is what I meant with, you know, it's a time-consuming process. This is not a, you know, a difficult process. It just takes time. Now, here's an important one. So, as you can see, this is our first non-attack clip. And as you can see, is attack? No. It's not blockable, all of that. Interruptible, is it interruptible? I mean, that's up to you. Are you vulnerable during a knockback? I think you should be vulnerable. That's kind of the whole point. And this is the first one where posture has changed. So again, quite important to just pay attention to, basically, not really. So I'm going to add a small transition in. You know, it won't be a perfect blend otherwise. And yeah, there we go. And maybe these values are too long, you know, the animations are quite a bit shorter than a lot of the default ones. Cool. Now the only one we do need to change is block, and if I look up block, perfect. So let's duplicate this one as well. And block perfect is basically going to be the, well, I'll show you. So we made a duplicate here, so block perfect. Those are sounds, and state sword blocking. And as you can see, this is not a clip, this is character blocking. So yeah, this is one I'll change. So let's lock this as well, and I'm going to duplicate this as well. State sword blocking, and we're going to add shields behind it. I don't know why. So yeah, we're adding shield, that's fine. We have it locked now. Let's drag in the animation. So what was it? Weapon and shield, and we had keep blocking. There we go. Perfect. Let's go back here. And we created duplicate here for block perfect, which is basically block perfect is basically the parry, so a perfect block. And there we have our counter attack as well. And I'm just going to add duplicate that as well, and we'll basically be done. I'm going to keep it at this. I know there's more, there's hit reactions, but this is already time consuming enough. So we have counter attack and block perfect. So let's actually add those as well. So hopefully I'll just be able to drag them in. Where are you? There we go. I'm just going to lock it just in case. Weapon and shield. It was something, shield blow, there we go. There we go. And these are the actions we initially created at some point. So as you can see, wait, I actually found out what fixes this weird bug where you don't see the names. We have to hit play mode once. So we'll get there. I know we haven't hit play mode in a while, but we'll get there. And the last one, zero combo, is the knockback. And yeah, that's definitely one we do need to change. Oh, we already did that. Oh, perfect. So block perfect, and yeah, I think we're good. So let's find our main sword and shield. Let's make sure all of these are in there. So zero knockback. And oh, zero counterattack. That's one of the ones we forgot to do. Zero counterattack. And yeah, we're pretty much good here. As you can see, this is the character state, and we'll go to the sword shield in a bit to change something as well. So we just need to change this one. And yeah, for that I'll use one of those combos that was included. I mean, I think that's going to be fun. So let's do a, I don't know, 5x combo move forward. That sounds interesting. Maybe it's a bit much, but I think it's gonna be fun. I don't know. So going to use this one. It's a nice bake into pose. Yes, 0.1. I think it's going to be a good one. There we go. Extract root motion. And yeah, so here I'm going to change something. So is this interruptible? I don't, yeah. No, we're going to make it uninterruptible. And, no, not invincible, that's maybe a bit much. I'm not even sure interruptible was a good idea, but yeah, we'll see. So we're good there. We have all of that, so let's now go back to our main shield. And as you can see, I really wasn't lying. This is definitely, you know, a time-consuming process, so I'm fully aware of that. But yeah, it's that's the thing. It's not necessarily difficult. It is just time-consuming. So we're going to use sword and shield 1 here. I'm not really sure why. So yeah, if you don't have a 1, it's simply a duplicate, so just duplicate it. The reason I'm doing that is because I never want to mess with the originals, I always want to mess with a duplicate. because we are changing something. So our enemy will still be using the default blocking and we're not. So state sword blocking, we're doing that to blocking shield, so that's good. And block perfect is going to be our new block perfect. As you can see, again, there's more, more reactions here, more clips here. Perfect block stumble, I'm pretty sure we should have done that as well, but I'm just going to keep it like this, as this is already long enough. Now here's one interesting use of a mask. So as you can see, defense state, defense mask is upper body. So it's actually masking part of the body to make sure this matches. And what we need as well is a actual prefab for a shield, because we don't actually have a shield and we'll need to position that as well. So we're definitely going to do that right now. Pretty sure one of these packs has a shield, one of those Cinti packs, I hope. So I'm just going to lock this here. And let's find one. Cinti, what is it? Polygon, hero characters, shields. There is a lot of shields. Buckler, I like that small one. Cool. So no idea how this is gonna look in the hand, so we'll most likely have to change that, just like with weapons, but that's okay, we can do that. So now, we had the unstart add armor. I'm just going to add the weapon here as well. I'm not going to create a pickup. We already did that several times. There's no, reason to do that. So draw a weapon, and we're going to draw our new weapon. There we go. So as you can see, I didn't actually change the idle, which is not great. I should have actually changed the idle. But as you can see here, we have some new animations for our... we have some new animations. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, as you can see, the jump animation is not a great fit. You definitely need another one. It should just be a downward slash. As you can see here, there's actually horizontal movement, so that just looks weird. Yeah, that's definitely strange looking. Cool. So I'm just going to approach the enemy here, and as you can see, blocking. Yes, the model is off, so we'll need to change that a bit. But blocking is using the shield, and as you can see, we still use our our legs. So that means our, that's why it's using the mask here. So let's try that perfect. Okay, well, the hit isn't great. I need to do that perfect block. I need to do it at least once. And as you can see, this is not a good animation, because the counter attack is basically, stuck in place, and I'm not moving, as you can see. I'm just, I'm just basically standing in place. Now, there we go. Now that's something we will need to address. We need to change that. So one of the ways is obviously finding a better animation. Let's just be completely real about that. And this pack I have actually has tons of animations, and I'm sure there is a better one. It doesn't actually have to be a shield. The shield doesn't have to be included in the animation. And there's, I don't know, there's just so many. I mean, there's packs for, two-handed weapons might be great as well, that he actually uses both hands for that counter attack. well, you know, 2 weapons is not going to be a great fit, obviously. But yeah, you know, there's so many animations, and I'm sure, you know, there will be a different one that matches better. But we're not going to do that right now. I just want to demonstrate this, and I know it won't look great, but it's all about demonstrating how this actually works. So let's find our 0 counterattack. There we go. And what we're going to do here is we're going to change the root motion. And for now, I'm going to keep it really simple here. We're going to do this one. I'm not really sure how much this is going to do, so we're going to just test this out. The other thing we're going to do is actually change that shield prefab, so I'm going to hit play mode here. And as you can see, the shield is wrong, so we're going to hit pause, and we need to check what we need to do for the shield. So basically, if we change it 180 degrees, where, well, this default state is not, you know, it's not a great match. So you know what I'm going to do actually? I'm going to be, let's block. There we go. I'm going to be blocking, and then we're going to hit pause, because this animation actually keeps in mind what it should look like. And there we go. And yeah, this is a surprisingly fast, good fit. So I'm going to cheat here, and I'm going to be changing this. There we go. So we're going to go back here. Going to find our main sword and shield, sword shield 1, and let's adjust this. So minus 10.1245. And this was minus 1.5 if I'm correct. And yeah, that's enough. We don't need the specifics. I mean, it won't be a perfect match, but it will be great. Cool. So let's hit play mode again, and let's try to see if that perfect parry is going to be a good match right now. So as you can see, this still looks weird, but if we now block, it's maybe it should rotate a bit more. But yeah, anyway, it's fine. The rotation is a bit off, but as you can see, yeah, the default state here looks off, and that's because the hand rotates like that, and that's simply because this is not an animation that fits. And just like I did with the shield, you can just, you know, change that animation as well. So the default idle. So let's oh yeah, if we run, by the way, yeah, it's not different enough really, is it? His field of view is a bit small. Okay, so let's try that perfect. And yeah, the root motion, as you can see, there was a bit more motion, but you know, it wasn't close to what it should be. And that's why, you know, the animations, oh, he's kicking my ass. Yeah, there's definitely not enough movement in these animations, so they're all really stuck in place, really. So that's a shame. But yeah, oh, it almost looked like I decapitated him. Anyway, doesn't really matter all that much. These are, you know, these animations obviously are not a perfect match, and I would have to, you know, really find fitting animations, or honestly just find a different, you know, a different pack. You know, as I addressed in the video yesterday, there's just so many packs on sale with really quality animations out there. So I'll almost definitely pick one up and you know, change these. As you can see, this is not a difficult process. It's just a time-consuming process. And I did want to demonstrate one with a sword and shield, simply because, you know, it's fitting for Breath of the Wild for one. and I wanted to show how you can actually, you know, integrate using a physical shield, because that's the thing. A shield is always active, but it's just not a physical object. Without the you know, the shield functions in the form of blocking, but it was never a physical object, and that's what we did in this one. Now, as you can see, you know, this is the sword shield, and we have the state sword motion, so that's the you know, the default idle for having a sword, and that should be different as well. So, you know, if we duplicate this one now, for example, and shield, I'm just going to add shield to it as well, and we're going to go to main here, and I don't know why I didn't select that. There we go, shield. We have it here, and as you can see, we have our draw sheet and idle. Now, the draw and sheet, I'm just going to keep them for now, but I'm going to change the idle to one that actually matches the shield, and you'll see the result why, you know, it will be better to actually try and match that position of the shield in hand. So let's just pick a general one, weapon and shield. I'm going to lock this for now. Weapon and shield, and where's idle? There has to be an idle somewhere. Idle. Cool. I'm going to drag it in just in case, and now I'm actually going to going to check it out. What does it look like, idle? I mean, yeah, I guess. It's not the best one. This is the female idol. Arguably the female one, it actually looks a lot better than the male one, but that's okay. I'm just going to use this idol for now, and let's duplicate this one. Was this the female one I accidentally duplicated? I'm not really sure. I'm pretty sure it was the female one I accidentally duplicated. Yeah, there we go. So that's one of the things I do like about this pack, which is why I got it, is because it has both male and female. Obviously it has a lot of animations, which is a nice thing. So we're just going to use that idol, so he won't be in the you know, ninja type of pose. He is in by default. So main all. So there we go. And we need to select that that new idol that I extracted, which is going to be here. There we go. Cool. So this will be the last little change, you know, just for demonstration purposes. And yeah, as you can see, the drawing and sheeting obviously don't match, but you know, as you could see, there's different animations by default in that. And yeah, this is the new idol. It's, you know, it's not a special idol, but it's an idol that works, and as you can see, this matches well with the shield. As a default idol animation, just, you know, it put the hands up, which is why the shield looked so weird. And you know, it's not a realistic pose if you're carrying a metal shield either. So yeah, that's it really. And I just wanted to demonstrate, you know, how this works, how you can set up your own animations, how you can even add, you know, a different move, attack move. It's really not all that complicated. You can change the combo to even a 4-hit combo if you want to add an additional one. There's a lot you can do. And it's not really difficult. It's just a time-consuming process. That's the only thing to really keep in mind here. So, hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.